I love to eat flowers, and why not? There are so many delectable flowers out there, friends, and here are the handful, many handfuls really, that we share here at Fruition Seeds. And welcome to our greenhouse in early April, by the way, where we're surrounded by soil blocks just seeded, and we're so excited to be sowing so many of these as well. But from the top, we have nasturtiums. Nasturtiums are nice and spicy, a touch of pepper in your life. The leaves are edible as well as the flowers, and they trail brilliantly, quite extravagantly, really. They thrive in containers and don't mind a touch of drought. And that is also true for calendula, which there are all these different phenomenal colors, shapes, sizes. Calendula is this sweeping rainbow, and they're all edible. There is this variety, resina, as well, that is full of medicinal resins. It's a phenomenal salve. It's quite sticky with these resins, so I actually recommend not eating this resina. If you want to make medicine, on the other hand, she's your girl. And all the rest of them are phenomenal varieties. I love this remembrance mix that we developed for Remembrance Farm specifically. It just has so many beautiful colors, and each petal is bicolor. One color on the front, another on the back. And bachelor buttons is another one, also called cornflower, that people often know are edible, and indeed they are. They're like the most glorious confetti of all time. And our polka dots mix is the classic mix. We also have the burgundy beauties, which, if you didn't already know, I'm a little obsessed with the color purple. So anytime we get to throw purple in anything, we do. So this is a beautiful rainbow of kind of purples and mauves and burgundies with a touch of pink rose cream in there as well. And I just learned a few years ago, sunflowers are totally edible, which is amazing. And they taste, you guessed it, like sunflower seeds, like sunflowers. So they are beautiful in all the different colors, shapes, sizes. By all means, throw them in your salads. Borage is another classic go-to in the edible flower department. It tastes like super mild cucumber. 80% of these flowers are going to be beautiful blue. 20% of them will be a coral, a shell pink, and insects love them. Butterflies, bees, all kinds of native pollinators, the whole 9 yards. I also recently learned that snapdragons are totally edible. Who knew? They're so much fun and delectable to boot. And yeah, here are a couple other more unusual in the who knew also. Bean flowers are totally delicious. On the other hand, if you eat the flower, you don't get to eat the bean, but here are two examples where the beans aren't delicious anyway. So our chocolate runner bean has this beautiful bicolor blossom, and the green bean is very fibrous and not delicious. The seeds, however, are delicious, but I like to have my cake and eat it too, and eat some of these flowers and let plenty go to seed so that I can eat them all winter long as dry beans. And hyacinth bean, which this variety was actually gifted to us by Roger Swain of the Victory Garden, and the beans themselves are not delicious, and the flowers are this beautiful lilac and super sweet. It's a totally different genus species than your classic beans, so they are just luscious lilac lavender sweetness. So yes, let plenty of them go to seed, flower, and pollinate so you can get those beautiful pods, but enjoy those pods in your salads and otherwise as well. So here are a few more flowers. In case you didn't know, echinacea is of course medicinal, but those petals are totally edible. Toss them on your salads. Here's a couple other medicinal herbs with edible flowers. Anise hyssop. So if you love fennel, you are in for such a treat, and she's perennial, just like echinacea, so you'll have her for years. And of course, the flowers are delicious, but also the seeds themselves and the leaves are heavenly. I honestly put them a few crushed in just water in the summer, and they are so refreshing. But there's so much that is edible, medicinal, and utterly healing about this plant. And of course, chamomile. You wouldn't exactly put it on a salad, but I couldn't talk about edible flowers without mentioning calendula. I also wanted to mention a few other kind of off the cuff edible flowers that we eat a lot of, but aren't on traditional flower lists. So chives, of course, edible flowers, but also cilantro. Once cilantro flowers and goes to seed, you can totally eat those flowering seed stalks. The stalks themselves are pretty fibrous, but those little white flowers are totally delish, which the same is true for basil. Basil has lovely, fragrant, delicious flowers. And any of your brassicas that go to seed, whether it's broccoli raw, rapini, broccoli itself, those beautiful yellow flowers are totally delicious. So eat them, yes. And in the Apiaceae family, dill and fennel, once they go to seed too, certainly the seeds are delicious, but even the flowers, they're full of sweet, fragrant pollen. And that pollen in dill tastes like dill. The pollen in fennel tastes like fennel. So flowers to eat as they go to seed. I also wanted to mention a few other fun flowers and seeds. So sesame and black cumin. Sesame is super easy to grow, even here at Fruition Seeds in Zone 5. And it actually looks like foxglove, which is amazing. They are just these rose, beautiful, long tubular flowers that hummingbirds and moths love. And once they pollinate, they actually form these beautiful green pods that turn gold, full of 60 plus sesame seeds in each. So beautiful edible flowers that you can totally enjoy when they go to seed. And the same is true for black cumin. So black cumin is different from brown cumin, which is the classic cumin that we all know and love. But black cumin is also called kolonji. It has some other fun names where it is traditionally grown and eaten in curries and all kinds of traditional dishes. And it basically, I mean, it tastes like black cumin first and foremost, but it's like this exotic, super exquisite flavor plus like toasted onion flakes. It's a really extraordinary flavor. So if you're interested in growing seeds, really beautiful flowers, it's in the same family as Nigella, same genus as Nigella. So yeah, black cumin, put it on your edible flower list. And of course, poppies are edible, right? And the Zyres bread seed is the most massive seed head we've ever seen, with the most massive seeds you've ever seen. And granted, they're still small, they're poppy seeds, right? But if you look at regular poppy seeds adjacent to the Zyres is many times larger. So if you're wanting to do any baking or other fun things with your poppy seeds in your life, Zyres bread seed is your go-to. And I would be remiss to talk about edible flowers without talking about zucchini. And so any zucchini, summer squash, of course, has delicious flowers, winter squash too. And here's the thing, and check out our video about this as well. You want to be eating the male flowers because they have male and female flowers. The females, once they are pollinated, make the zucchini, the buttercup, whatever squash it is that you're growing. So you don't want to eat the flower of the female because you want that ovary to swell and become that delicious fruit. But a male flower, and check out our video so you can tell the difference. It's super easy and is super fun. And finally, this Love Lies Bleeding is an amaranth, and all amaranths are, of course, beautiful flowers, but they're edible as young greens. So think spinach, less than 6 inches tall, and then the seeds are also edible as well. So there you have a fun laundry list. We also have a collection that has 6 of the most easy to grow go-to packets. You'll find them all on our website, and I'm so honored to share all of these seeds with you, friends, because let's be honest, I love that we need bread, but we need roses too, as they said back in the day. And so yes, have your flowers and eat them too. It is so essential, especially in these times as we are learning new patterns and learning to be fed by ways that haven't always fed us in the past, but letting our hearts and our joys be our guide.